Alright, welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review, episode 126. Because of how late it's getting right now, I'm just going to go straight to do news episode One Piece in case closed, and then I'll come back to finish up Wano. Yes. So in these 4 episodes, it's pretty much the aftermath. Yes, it's the long epilogue. An epilogue that lasts for 7 episodes. Yep. So, basically, with Momonosuke now officially recognized as the Shogun, basically they have a day of celebration because the fire system is everything over, but they have another day of celebration to honor the people who died during the raid on Onigashima. And basically, where Luffy and Zoro are sleeping, and then they wake up, and then they demand food and booze, and they eat for a while, like, oh, we'll have a banquet, and then the chefs basically appeared, and apparently the Straw Hats couldn't wait, so basically Luffy, Nami, Tama, Yamato, and Chopper all go out basically do this. Zoro and Sanji not seen doing this. Brooke is actually doing a duet with Hillary for Moon Princess. Her father is her piece music. Frankie is seen fixing the Sunny after some damage is done during the raid, where they eventually did find it because prior to the raid, it was anchored off Onigashima along with the Polar Tango, which actually they somehow got to shore, and somehow they got to that place despite the fact of the ground. That's not really explained there with that one. And Kid's ship too, and of course fixing it, got some repairs. And also, by the way, Scratch from Acapulco is still around, despite the fact this guy is injured. And they get the paper, where apparently Kid, Law, and Luffy all received upgraded bounties. Oh, by the way, before this, the elders were not happy the fact that the letter D was put in Luffy's name. And they were telling the printers, retract it and reprint it without the D. But they can't get contact with the printers because someone's jamming their signal. And Morgan's like, I'm not letting the government manipulate this. So he does whatever he wants, and basically this is how they find out publicly, how we find out during this arc that Sabo is supposedly allegedly killed Cobra. This fact he actually did not. We do know that the Dragon's Claw was destroyed. They do not mention what else happened here. It's like basically vague exactly what happened. Oh, they do also mention that they did take Kuma, because the arc got abruptly cut off. And the thing with the Reverie is, that was something in terms of the original manga, that was actually not Oda's fault for that. I'm sure he planned to have it go out a little longer than he did. Yeah, this arc is really short in the manga. And I think it was planned to have it go out longer, but, and this is my personal guess, I think it was his editor basically told him, just get the freaking Wano already. We've been basically teasing it for a long time. I do have a theory about this when it comes to Wano. The fact that it was supposed to be delayed a little bit longer, but I'm guessing the editor was getting impatient with Oda, so he had basically just abruptly cut off the Reverie without a proper conclusion. And, by the way, the actual conclusions to Reverie arc is actually not totally Reverie, it's actually totally freaking Egghead. Yes, during that arc is basically where they explain what the heck happened. Because anybody watched the anime sees, oh, they took a vote and they do confirm that the Seven War System was in fact disbanded. They of course, they confirmed that already. As what else they voted on, it's not very clear. As a matter of fact, Oda himself has not been very open exactly what else they voted on, because aside from disbanding the Seven Warlord system, nothing else was mentioned exactly like what the meeting voted on. Of course, they could have voted on any different thing. So, oh yeah, also in the paper, it's revealed now, well, you see, Luffy, Law, and Kid all got the bounty raised at 3 billion berries, and also, the lamp Emperor Sea has changed once again. In the case of this actually is the first time since the time skip that the lamp has changed, because lamp pre-time skip was just Shanks, Big Mom, Kaido, and Whitebeard. And then Whitebeard got killed during Marineford, and Blackbeard took his place. And that was the line we had until this very arc, where Kaido and Big Mom been defeated. So Luffy has been named Emperor of the Sea, and the other one is Buggy the Clown. Yep. Yeah, he's been named the new Emperor. I guess to avoid any scrutiny from... It's like, okay, so first he goes from apprentice to Roger, to celebrity, then to a captain of a pirates, and then become apparently so popular he's named Warlord, and now he's named Emperor of the Sea. Which, by the way, the follow-up was for that is not until the start of the very next arc of the series. And Kid's like, I gotta take you down, because why? Because he's the Emperor of the Sea. And, well... And then we also have it where we have Tengumi, where he's talking to Garabin about, oh, there's a poneglyph there, but it's not the only one. Oh, no. Where, basically, like, there's these dolls, and it shows the red poneglyph. Apparently this was the third one. And shows what the real Wano is, the original Wano from 800 years ago. So, according to Tugamas, that about what he's actually going to be Momo's grandfather, who is actually still alive, despite the fact that it was claimed that he died because of sickness. Turns out that was a lie. Yeah, I'm guessing that the reason... Now, the thing is, there was no hint of the fact that Gomass was actually Momo's grandpa. There was no hint at it all. It's he was just some... He could have been any old man. But my guess is probably the reason why that they had claimed that this was Momo's grandfather. I'm guessing to possibly tie up a loose end. Because they had this guy who... at the start, basically, didn't do much. And, like, he was there for Tom at the beginning, and then, like, nothing for the longest time. I'm guessing the reason why they revealed he was actually the grandpa is because, well, we had nothing else for this character. I mean, the character has no backstory, and then we go, oh, he's actually Momo's grandpa. Okay. And Law's with him too, and they see it, and apparently, get this. So apparently inside this water, which water surrounded walls, apparently it's actually ancient weapon Pluton. Yes, it's Pluton itself actually inside the water. And if in fact if the water would open, Pluton would be unleashed. And Momo decided not to open up things, so which of course that prevented it. And then, of course, a Navy Admiral shows up, which, of course, basically, after CP0, basically detailed their report, this idiot Admiral decided to use his power to sort of fly over there. Despite the fleet Admiral says, don't cause trouble. Oh, he does. Because as soon as he gets there, he goes to, of all places, Udon. Yes. Where King and Queen are basically prisoners there, despite the fact they get their powers. It's not very clear with this. So he proceeds to drain them along with several beast pirates, including the warden of the prison, of their life energy, where it basically husks, so kind of in a way he killed them. But this was the most recent appearance of these two characters in the entire series. They do not return after this. And then we see him where apparently he has like a tree fruit power, where he just grows stuff. And then we have the retainers basically take him on, and of course Yamato tries to fight, but Momo tells her basically this weapon gets referred to as a boy, this weapon gets clearly a girl. Oh, prior to this, they had this really, well, kind of awkward bath scene where Yamato hops in with the guys, and of course, Sanji obviously has nosebleed. Now, despite the fact that Yamato might claim that she is a he, it's clearly a she, given the fact she's got boobs. Yes. Though they don't bring it the fact off the name of Kiku, because here's the weird thing related to Kiku. The fact that originally some people claimed that she was a guy. Yes, and my guess is Crunchyroll must have saw it like, that's a stupid idea. They claim this is actually a guy even though clearly it's a woman. And they cut the line out of the manga where apparently, like, oh, this way they claim she's a guy where she basically bathes with women. Like, Yamato think that's something else, but this, the whole thing with Kiku, was the whole thing was like promoted like stuff with non-binary bullcrap. And my guess is in the case of Kiku, I guess after a bit he must have basically pulled back on it when it comes to Kiku, because they claim in the sub this actually is a guy, but clearly it's a woman. And the dub is like, yeah, this is clearly a woman. Also, I forgot to mention this before all this stuff happened with the Emerald, is that Kinema wants to build temples for people who died during Onigashima, and they do confirm that Rika Majaro's character he voiced here, I think his name is Azusa, I think he's basically like apparently he's apparently the strongest man in Wano. He died and Kiku's brother died too. So build temples for them basically to honor their sacrifice. Very nice of them to do. And of course they got the Emerald. And then the Emerald was spooked out by Red Hair Shanks. Yep, who shows up here, and there have been hints throughout post time skip he wanted to go see Luffy, and he arrives around and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna see him. But I'm going to spook this Emerald. And then the Emerald proceeds to plan to leave. Yep. They end that basically with episode 1082. Now we're just about done with this arc. Yes, I say just about done because it's completely true. It's kind of weird though with this particular set of episodes. I looked up basically the amount of episodes released for the final voyage for Wano. Apparently, for some weird reason, because I assumed it was going to be 84, but it was actually a time for my power. It was actually 85. Despite the fact the arc ended with 84 for some reason. 85 started off the Egghead arc. But I'll probably watch it later because, well, I need to get watching with One Piece, the regular stuff, Egghead arc. Okay, so yeah, that's took a view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I'll see you in a bit for One Piece. Okay. Oh, the main series, the current stuff. Okay. Bye.